Hey, good, Barry, thank you for that great introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really excited about being here with you today. And I want to take the time to thank my mentor, Mr. Les Brown, John Tellerico, Barry, and as well as that awesome Power Voice team for the opportunity to share with you today. As you look at your life, ladies and gentlemen, and we think about the theme that has been set here today, here's what I want you to do. Turn to the person on your left and the right and even type it in the chat. Big life changes equal big life changes. That's right. And the big life change that you're here for, whether you were brought on your own, you came on your own, you were invited or tricked into coming, you're looking for a big life change. And it starts with those that dream, the vision and the goals that we set for ourselves. But the question becomes, what happens when you find yourself so caught up in your daily grind that you don't even have a vision or dream or goals that you're working towards? I asked that question simply because that's where I found myself. It wasn't until a gentleman asked me the question, what have you done over the course of the last 5 years that has gotten you closer to accomplishing your goals, that I had to stop in my tracks. And he caught me off guard. But even standing there, it didn't take long for me to realize I had done nothing. And as I stood there in the room with my friends and the gentleman who had asked the question, as well as my wife standing there looking on, I was embarrassed. And inside I was shrinking because I knew I was playing it small. I was not holding up my end of the bar, and I was letting my family down. Most importantly, what I was doing was setting my family up for failure in the future. And so it was at that moment I realized the only thing I could do, I needed to raise my game. I needed to step it up and start taking control of my life. And the way I did that was type this in the chat. Commit to living a larger life. That's right. I had to commit to living a larger life. No more playing small. Nelson Mandela says there's no reward in playing small. And he was right, because I wasn't receiving any benefits of what I was doing at that time. So with that, I began to work on the one thing that was holding me back. And the big battle that I needed to go up against was my mind. The enemy within. Old African scripture says that if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can't harm us. And boy, that enemy within was kicking my butt. I was operating with limited beliefs, a lack of confidence, and many fears, worrying about what other people were going to think, worrying about whether or not I was going to fail, and worrying about whether I just go after it day in and day out, and it never happened. But guess what? People are going to laugh at you anyway. You're going to fail your way to success. And if you don't get started, you'll never find out. You'll be wondering why or what if. So here's what I did with that. Committing to living a larger life and working on myself. The first thing I realized, there's only one person who can create the life puzzle that I want to see myself living, and that is me. And that's you as well, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody wants to allow somebody else to create the life puzzle for them. You got to walk this journey and play this game simply to collect and connect the pieces of your life in a manner that you see for yourself that makes you happy and successful. And with that, I had to tap into me, that connection of me. Who am I? Why am I here? And where am I going? And as I start uncovering some of the dreams, goals, and visions that I had buried, and start realizing that I had some skills and talents that lied far outside of my athletic ability that I thought was always going to be my ticket out, I realized I could do so much more in me. And I had so much more available to me. With that, I started raising the bar on myself. I declared myself under construction, and I started taking some risks that I wasn't taking before. And with that, as the good book says, my gifts start opening doors and put me in rooms with great men. I started connecting with individuals I thought I couldn't even connect with before, simply because of where I was from, how I looked, and my financial status and educational status. But what I realized was that those individuals are waiting for me. I have a gift that many people are waiting on, just like you do, ladies and gentlemen. You were put on this earth with a gift that solves a problem, and people are waiting on you. And when you decide what it is you want, doors will begin to open for you. So what happens when you connect with those like minds? You start seeing that they're incorporating the attitudes and behaviors that are needed for success. They're accomplishing things, even though they're going through some of the same adversities. They look coming from the same environments, and they look just like you. They're still accomplishing it. They're not using that as an excuse to cry and whine and complain. They're reacting with the idea of there's an opportunity in every problem. Write that down. There is an opportunity in every problem, and your decision on whether or not you're going to fight to get out of it or sit to stay in it is up to you. Here's what they do as well. Take life serious. Ladies and gentlemen, many people will die every day without taking life serious. They'll push everything that they want to do to the side. Oh, I'll start tomorrow. Oh, wait a minute, I'll do it next week. I had a friend of mine who started the New Year's and said, I'm going to start working out on myself and getting myself in shape. I talked to him the second week. I said, how's it going? He said, well, I fell off the wagon, but I'm going to get started again here in March. Man, it's January. What do you mean you're going to start in March? You can get started now. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to get started now where you're at with what you have, and you got to go forward all out no matter what. Something that you'll need to do as well, ladies and gentlemen, I watched my parents do that, and I've incorporated it in my life. You have to do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. Oh, my goodness. That does not define you. If you work 2 jobs, so what? You got to do what you have to do. And what you have to do, you have to put food on the table. You got to put clothes on people's back, and you got to put a roof over people's head. That's called being responsible. If you refuse to do that, that means you've given up on yourself. And I know you're not ready to give up on yourself or the family. You see, I was letting them down, but I refused to let that continue anymore. I was not going to live a life where 5, 10, or 15 years I was still stuck. So with that, what defines you is the work that you put in the dark. Champions become champions long before they step into the arena. The lights come on and people fill the stands and they step in the ring and the announcer says, "Rumble, young man, rumble." Oh, my goodness, they done got it in before they're ready to get it in. And you got to do the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. I sit here today simply because I committed to living a larger life. No longer was I going to allow myself to be stuck where I was. I needed to go for it, and I did that. And so do you, ladies and gentlemen. Time is running out. You are up against the wall like a team that is on defense, and you're down by 5 points. You have to get the other team to commit a turnover, get the ball in your favor, and score a touchdown. Once you do that, things will begin to change for you. Here's what I want you to do. Choose extreme resilience in conquering challenges and obstacles life leaves in every road. And by all means, just keep pushing because nobody's going to do it for you. I'm Eric Collier. Thank you.
All right, Eric, man, I'm telling you, you were dropping gems in that one. In 7 minutes, you got a lot in, brother. So, and I hope you were if folks, if you were listening to that, I hope you were taking notes because, I mean, he gave you a blueprint to just getting started and really taking off. And then if you want to reach out to Eric and really just have him do that thing of that momentum shift that he was talking about, go to his website. It's onemomentumshift.com, and it's the number 1 momentumshift.com. And reach out to Eric. He has you can schedule a free 30-minute coaching session with him. He's also taking speaking engagements from there as well. So thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you, Barry, and the Power Voice team for the opportunity. Have a great day.
Absolutely. You take care. All right. And we're going to keep it going here. We got a